Trump popped off on Truth Social this morning, released his video. It's good hogwatch. Let's fucking go, dude. I love when they just give me... I love when shit happens to the Republicans because they just react in the worst way possible. So are we calling it a raid? I don't know what language you're using anymore. I mean, it's not... I like it because it upsets Republicans, okay? I'm of the mindset that I'm in it for the content and I'm in it for like seeing whatever the fuck upsets the hogs the most. And it seems like they're more upset about it being a raid and it's like the worst thing and this is the Gestapo and you know, Steven Crowder is like calling for a fucking civil war and shit. Like, it's awesome. They're full-blown screaming baby mode and I love it. And here it is. I blasted off. Juice this. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends style. But yeah, they're losing their fucking minds over it. Everyone who wants to be a centrist on it, everyone who wants to like make a killing in like the pro-Trump market is using this as like the grossest misconduct of all time. So remember, kids, they're not triggered. It's just justified, rational rage directed valiantly towards a singular goal. Yeah, no. They're not triggered. God, please do not say I've been owned. Please do not say I'm triggered. Do not. No matter what happens, do not say I'm triggered, okay? Please is kind of the same goal, but it doesn't even end there. Okay, Donald Trump has had a bad 24 hours, okay? He has had a not good, very bad past 24 fucking hours. Now, earlier yesterday, god damn it, my fucking, my keyboard always getting disconnected. So earlier yesterday, federal agents stormed the beautiful, wonderful, gold-plated halls of Mar-a-Lago. Okay? They did that. They went in, they had a warrant, they had a search warrant specifically that detailed a safe that Donald Trump had inside of Mar-a-Lago, his Florida home, where he lives. For those of you who don't know, that's where he lives, in Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump was unfortunately not there, because if he was there, it would have been so much better. But unfortunately, he was not there. He lost his mind and said, like, you know, this is the worst. This is the worst thing that could have ever happened to any American president. Meanwhile, American presidents have been fucking assassinated and shit, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But yeah, he's been losing his fucking mind over it, and so have the Republicans. But it doesn't end there. There's so much going on. There's also the Ways and Means Committee in the DC Circuit has just affirmed that the Ways and Means Committee, okay, can actually obtain Trump's tax returns. So my man's going through a lot, and he's not having a good go at it. Okay, this has not been a good Tuesday for Trump, but it's been a wonderful Tuesday for us. Okay, so there's a lot of content. I'm gonna just fire it off. I'm gonna get right into it. Okay, we're going right into it. No more fucking screaming. No more random chatters coming in and being like, dude, watch my issue immediately, drop everything, all that fun stuff. So let's get right into it. So first and foremost, is this raid a big deal? A lot of people are wondering, is this raid a big fucking deal? Yeah, it is a big deal. Okay? These are all, I mean, this is a big fucking deal. A previous president getting raided by the federal government, that's a big deal always. It's unprecedented. It's pretty solid. So that's a lot of fun. So there's truth there. Now, hopefully, and as I mentioned yesterday multiple times over, I hope that there is more to it than just this raid happening or this like, evidence request or like, I don't know, evidence extraction happening because of how big of a fucking deal it is. I really hope that it's more than just, oh, he misfiled or he mishandled classified information. Also, we're going to juice this one more time. Okay? Because remember, I looked at the information that was available yesterday to us and said, if this is just about like mishandling evidence, mishandling classified evidence, classified information, then this is literally just like a ridiculous thing to do in comparison to, like the actions that the government took was gigantic in comparison to how minor of a crime it is in most instances, because it offers a lot of leniency. The government offers a lot of leniency because everyone does this. Everyone like takes classified information or documents that they shouldn't on their own, for their own personal use or whatever the fuck. Okay? And not only that, but also the president has the capacity to declassify anything and everything they want, technically. Now, you say mishandling classified evidence can disqualify an individual from holding office. Yeah, that's a anti-whistleblower provision. So you're right about that. However, what you're wrong about is you're talking about the president. You know what the declassification process is for the president? It's quite simple. It's just he goes, these are now declassified. I'm the president. And he walks out. Okay? So I'm still holding out hope that like the FBI didn't pull a fucking Jim Comey style fuck up and unironically did this like massive move, okay, on a previous president, an unprecedented move specifically for like mishandling documents, okay, because that's the nerdiest shit. Having said that, let's not take that away from all the fun we're gonna have today, because Republicans are still losing their fucking minds, and I do think that that's fun. You can classify stuff too, right? I think so. A funny thing is all the Republicans going, this could happen to any of us, and then deleting their tweets because they sound like criminals. Yeah, I mean, technically, it could happen to any of them. It should happen to a lot of them, actually. That would be fun as well. And fuck it, throw some Democrats in the pile too. I'm such a fucking bipartisan, both sidist, centrist when it comes to that issue. Throw some Democrats in the pile. Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, get some of the top dogs. Chuck Schumer. I'm on board, baby. Let's go. Rate them all. So, total centrism from me. The real ass centrism. Not this fucking fake ass Andrew Yang centrism. Andrew Yang goes, I'm no Trump fan. I'm a fan of math. I want him as far away from the White House as possible. But a fundamental part of his appeal has been that it's him against the corrupt government establishment. This raid strengthens that case for millions of Americans who will see this as unjust persecution. It's like, bro, let me just say something, okay? Just because Donald Trump comes across and has successfully lied to millions of Americans about being like a hero does not change the reality that he himself is like very much a corrupt piece of shit. What the fuck is this? What the absolute fuck is this? I mean, a lot of people think he's like this brave, a lot of people think he's this brave anti-corruption advocate. It's like, no, but he's still corrupt. And not only is he corrupt, but because of his like entire life experience being the most entitled man on the fucking planet, he is really sloppy. Okay? Donald Trump, and I've said this so many times, like, and this is part of the reason why a lot of conservatives oftentimes mistake what I'm saying for, like hating the Democrat or my hatred for the Democratic Party as like, as grounds that I must be like a Republican or something. Donald Trump is just as corrupt, if not more corrupt, than every other prior administration. The only difference is he's too stupid not to try and cover his fucking tracks. Do you understand? Like, previous presidents have never been like, yeah, let's have some fucking low-level guy in our administration go directly talk to like a Russian asset, you know? And openly state on the timeline that, like, I would love to get some opposition research from a foreign government against the person I'm running for. Like, that's unique. Like, he's very openly doing this shit. And I think because many people just automatically and correctly assume that politicians are pieces of shit and they are corrupt, they see Donald Trump's open corruption as a breath of fresh air. Like, that's part of his appeal. Okay? That, of course, he's fucking corrupt, just like everybody else is, but at least he's doing it out in the open. Like, he's honest about his dishonesty, right? And he's dishonest for you. He's been able to sell the idea that he is dishonest, but he's dishonest for you. Okay? How can he be that stupid, though? He has so many advisors working for him. I mean, what do you mean? Like, every fucking celebrity, every incredibly powerful person basically gets to a point where they can hire whoever the fuck they want. And when they're at that point and everyone's livelihood revolves around them, you can absolutely change their behavior. You can hire people that are yes men, sycophants, people that won't check you, people that will just simply turn around and say what you want to hear. And Donald Trump famously has a cadre of individuals like that. Yeah, he also just fires the ones who tell him to do the right things that he doesn't want to do. Exactly, that too. But yeah, this is a good summarization of it. This raid strengthens that case for millions of Americans who have been brainwashed, so I'll just continue to vie for their vote. Exactly. Seems like this was authorized by a local judge in a particular FBI office without buy-in or notification of higher levels of government. I don't believe that. Like, Merrick Garland, the attorney general, is informed on this, okay? You can't go and open the doors up of Mar-a-Lago with federal agents without of the previous president's home, without prior notification from the attorney general at the very least, and definitely the top levels of DOJ and the FBI. Okay? Like, you know, Christopher Wray, who ironically was also appointed by Donald Trump 5 years on the dot before this raid happened, was well informed about this. These sorts of things don't get signed off on. It's not like a fucking it's not like those secret courts that you go to like personally unlock surveillance for your ex-wife as an FBI agent. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a fucking FISA court. This is the material evidence that you are supposedly getting has to reach a certain bar. You can't just be like, oh, I just want to go inside at the fucking halls of Mar-a-Lago and look in Donald Trump's safe. Like, it doesn't work that way. So certainly there is a lot of high level involvement in this, which is part of the reason why I was like, the FBI is pretty fucking incompetent. They're pretty stupid. They're pretty bad, but they can't be this bad, right? Like, I still want to hold out, specifically because it really triggers Republicans, mostly because I'm motivated by spite. But, like, the FBI can't be so fucking bad that they just straight up did a gigantic move like this, going into Mar-a-Lago and going into Trump's safe, specifically to recover 15 classified documents, like 15 boxes of documents that were classified, that were mishandled. It is literally like an accounting error being executed by the IRS collaborating with the FBI or something, when the guy is like a murderer. You know what I mean? It is kind of like Al Capone, is what I'm saying. You're assuming the FBI didn't do this specifically to help him in the polls and create a narrative? Okay, that is tinfoil hat shit. And normally I'm on board, but I do think that in this circumstance, there's more. I think that there's a higher likelihood that this was just like a minor thing that they put out a major move on without really thinking about it. FBI totally had a napkin with the words, "I can read this." They're 100% allowed to do what they did. What? What? Of course they're allowed to do what they did. The point is, make no mistake, the FBI is doing what they are able to do. What they can do, of course. But leniency is often expected in circumstances like this. And Trump himself is so fucking corrupt and so awful and so clearly in violation of the law in like a million different ways that having an FBI raid, like a big deal like this, be conducted specifically for mishandled classified evidence that Trump could have declassified personally is ridiculous. So I'm still holding out hope that it's not just about mishandled information and there's a larger plan of attack.
Right now, I want to get to the investigation of former President Trump. There you see him leaving Trump Tower last night after news broke of the FBI searching his Florida residence, Mar-a-Lago. Chief Washington correspondent John Carl starts us off. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. This may be the most politically explosive raid ever undertaken by the FBI. It's a stunning development. The FBI executing a search warrant at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property in Palm Beach, Florida, the place Trump has called the Southern White House. Trump himself revealed the news overnight, calling it an unannounced raid on my home, saying in a statement agents even broke in.
Dude, I love this part. They even broke into my safe. No! It's like, it's literally, it has the energy of that no emote, dude. It's like, not my safe. Is nothing sacred? No!
Into my safe, and claiming his home, quote, is currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Trump was in New York at the time.
I love the unannounced raid as opposed to an announced raid, which would kind of defeat the purpose of the announced raid.
Not Mar-a-Lago. He ignored questions as he left Trump Tower. Federal law enforcement sources confirm agents executed a search warrant at around 10 a.m. Monday. Sources tell ABC News the action was related to allegations Trump improperly removed documents, including classified documents from the White House when he left office. In January, the National Archives retrieved 15 boxes worth of White House documents from Mar-a-Lago with Trump's cooperation.
Oh, that's a big-ass safe, by the way. What the fuck? Wait.
15 boxes worth of White House.
Now, that's the other part of this, for the record. That's the other part of this. And that is that, like, they knew about this for months. Like, they took these out. And people at the time said that this was illegal and inappropriate. Like, this is not new news, you know what I mean?
House documents from Mar-a-Lago with Trump's cooperation. Sources tell ABC News the Department of Justice had started a grand jury investigation in May into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified information. They subpoenaed the National Archives for the classified material it had retrieved from Mar-a-Lago. Attorney General Merrick Garland has been tight-lipped about any investigations related to Trump, but he made clear last month that nobody, not even a former president, is immune from prosecution.
I love that take where it's like Obama ran on prosecuting the prior administration for literally doing torture and closing Guantanamo Bay. And then he was just like, we must not look backwards, we must look forwards. And then what? The first time a fucking president actually gets popped like this, like a previous president, it's going to be over mishandling classified information? Come on, please tell me it's not the nerdiest fucking reason. I'm going to lose my mind, dude. Actually, I won't, because the only thing keeping me going right now in the sea of all this chaos is just watching Republicans melt the fuck down. So I'm still happy. You know, shouts out to the FBI. I love the law enforcement. I'm out here literally fucking running around like this, okay? Where is it? Like this shit basically had me going like this.
Yeah. Back to Alaska. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military.
What?
We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. And when I'm in the jam, I know that I can call up the man, with a plan. When I'm on the run, all I gotta do is dial 911. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important.
What's really funny about this is that Baked Alaska is a Nazi who literally fucking also was under legal scrutiny for his live streaming of the January 6th insurrection, where he was there, and also he was not loving the cops or the law enforcement then. I don't know if he's in jail. I think he snitched, right? He's not. But yeah, no, this is not a joke. This is when he was doing this. He was like, "Oh, I love Trump. I love our law enforcement. I love our military."
When I'm in a jam, I know that I can call up the man, with the plan. When I'm on a run, all I gotta do is dial 911.
So yeah, is this a PSA he did for punishment? No. He this is before he went to jail. This is before he was detained, arrested, went to jail. I think he's in jail right now. Isn't he in jail for being a Nazi piece of shit who went and did January 6th and also quite literally filmed himself doing it. This is from like 2016 when, you know, all the Nazis were popping off, loving cops and law enforcement. No, he's out. Oh man, what a bummer. Anyway, but that doesn't matter. That the reason why I'm playing this song is because, you know, sometimes you separate the art from the artist, okay? And this is one of those moments where I'm separating the art from the artist and telling you that it basically it just, that's how I feel now, okay? I ordered a bunch of Blue Lives Matter flags, you know what I mean? I'm talking about funding the FBI further after what they did to Donald Trump. It's cool. Fun. Just, you know, having a little bit of fun with that.
We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our veterans, they're important. We love our cops.
Wait, what? Bro, trying to compare that guy to Nazis is just disingenuous? Come on. Wait, what do you mean? He's like... Brother, he's a fucking idiot. Like, he just openly was doing Nazi shit. Like, saying that he was a Nazi and stuff. What do you mean? What? Motherfuckers are so funny. They'll be like, what do you mean? Like, he's not like literally in 1938. What? Dick riding the FBI? Brother, I'm dick riding the FBI. I mean, I'm dick riding the FBI as hard as, like, as far as they are able to fucking upset conservatives. That's kind of it. That's pretty much it. I will be serious in a little bit too. Hey, I wore Hasan merch on stream at Evo this year. Oh shit, look at that, dude. Nice. Fuck yeah. But you did not have an Amazon box hiding your keystrokes, hiding your movement, so I think he's assuming you're only calling him a Nazi because of how he was at January 6th. No. He was a Nazi before that. Don't you think the word Nazi loses meaning if you call every random Republican a Nazi? Brother, this is not a random Man, shut the fuck up, okay? If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, shut the fuck up. You fucking weirdo, dumbass, groiping-ass Zoomers. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up with this centrist nonsense, okay? No, he's not a Nazi because he went to January 6th. He's a Nazi because he says he is, okay? He's like literally a fucking neo-Nazi. Shut the fuck up. Why am I Why am I even having this conversation right now, bro? Holy fuck. He's a neo-Nazi because he says it, okay? Like, neo-Nazi conspirators baked Alaska, arrested after live streaming from Capitol insurrection. He's been banned from several social media platforms after posting anti-Semitic and white nationalist memes and has marched among hate groups in Charlottesville. Like he went to the fucking Unite the Right Nazi rally in Charlottesville. And motherfuckers are like, is he a Nazi? I don't know. It has to be a joke, right? Yeah. Wow, bro, I can't believe you're calling a guy who calls himself a Nazi and a white supremacist and says, and they're constantly saying white supremacist shit, Nazi shit, a Nazi. That's really fucked up of you, Sweaty. Hasan calls everyone he disagrees with a Nazi is literally the most common criticism of you online on Twitter, and it always comes from leftists. Yeah, well, the reality is, those leftists are fucking stupid, okay? And they're not even leftists. They're straight up like LARPing as leftists, but they're just, they just want healthcare, and that's it. And there is a place for them, okay? And that's fine. There is a place for them because they're still advocating for, some good things. And I don't give a shit. But ultimately, who gives a fuck? I'm not going to sit here and gatekeep being on the left or whatever because it doesn't matter. And half of those motherfuckers that say stuff like that with the Globe Twitter, with a globe on their fucking Twitter account, or a sock for being socked them on their Twitter account, were like alt-right dickheads 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and then they turned into and they kept some of that attitude, but didn't really fully transition out of that. Anyway. Who cares? If you're on Twitter, you need to turn it off and read the Quran, okay? Fucking neoliberals. All right. Most of those guys believe the same exact thing now, but they went back to saying it quietly. Yeah, they just say it in like Discord servers and shit. And say, oh, they're just memeing. Okay? He says with 10 Twitter tabs open, yes, I am brain dead. I am literally brain diseased. I say it all the time. Okay? I'm fucking brain diseased. The fuck do you mean? That's why I'm on Twitter all the time. Twitter is good, reputable information. I mean, yeah, I scour it for the actual breaking shit, like the good shit that my friends and other journalists post, but there's also a lot of brain disease on there. Which again, I have brain disease myself, so that's why I look at it. All right. Anyway, why the fuck do we get derailed so goddamn hard? I was just making a fucking joke about Baked Alaska saying we love our law enforcement just to talk about how much I love the law enforcement after their raid on Donald Trump.
No person is above the law in this country. Nothing stops us.
Even a former president.
I don't know how to.
What do you mean even a former president? It's like the top of the hour ad break. It's going to come for you no matter what, okay? Doesn't matter if you're the president. Doesn't matter if you're just a regular old Joe, okay? Here's how this shit works. At the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those fucking ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or you can do for free, okay? How can you do it for free? With a Twitch Prime. Or if you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub. That's it. Those are the only ways you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. Otherwise, it's coming for you, okay? Just like Merrick Garland, Dark Garland, is coming for you, Donald Trump. I hate that meme because it like assumes that Nazis are the Chad guy too. God, so many fucking weirdos on the internet. Okay. Vin Garland saga 3 out of 10 bait. Okay, dude, don't test me. Okay, come after me. Tell me I'm not fucking doing debates well enough. I will drop one so fucking hard, it'll destroy your soul later in the fucking broadcast, okay? Go ahead. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. All right. Why do Americans want someone to be above the law, want someone they like to be above the law so bad? That's the entire premise of law enforcement, my friend. Hello? Welcome. The entire existence of law enforcement is predicated upon they're brutal, but they have to be because they're being brutal to the right people. The right people are the people that scare me, okay? Someone living in the fucking suburbs, like a white guy. Do you understand? So it's fine if they're being awful to black people, but don't treat me like a black person is literally at the heart of like white suburbians and their understanding of crime and punishment and criminal justice for the most part. Hopefully that clears it up for you. So of course, why do you think these people live stream themselves breaking into the fucking Capitol building, to the halls of Congress? Why? Why do they do that? Because they're entitled. Because they're like, yeah, of course, you're here to protect and serve me, motherfucker. What do you mean? That's literally the same energy of people. That is the exact same energy as people saying, why would they do this to Donald Trump? He's the president. He's a good guy. He's one of the good guys. And the cops are good guys. Just like us. And they're only supposed to do this to the bad guys. What the fuck? Meanwhile, if you're on the left, you already understand that they do it to marginalize people all the time, regularly. That is a part of their process. That's a part of their actual fucking, that's what they are supposed to do. Okay?
I'll say that again. No person is above the law in this country.
The FBI had no comment, but Trump put out a lengthy statement calling the search politically motivated and attacking the FBI. Though FBI Director Christopher Wray was handpicked by Trump to replace James Comey after Trump fired Comey. Law enforcement sources say the search warrant was approved by a federal judge, something that would have required agents to demonstrate probable.
Some Redditors calling for civil war are literally January 6 attendees awaiting sentencing. Last night, I posted a screenshot of top replies on the Donald about Mar-a-Lago raid, almost all of them violent. One user, BananaGuard62, referenced the Civil War. Well, it turns out BananaGuard62 is Tyler Welch Slaker awaiting sentencing for storming the Capitol on 1/6. Why are they doing this? Yeah, here he is taking a selfie on 1/6. He's been posting on the Donald in the 17 months since. In a reply to a Civil War post last night, he clarified, I'm awaiting sentencing for trespassing into the Capitol. I am only being careful with my words. They can't help themselves, dude. Smartest fucking Trump supporter, dude. I swear to God. They can't help themselves. Why are you admitting from your anonymous account that you are currently awaiting trial for literally doing exactly what you're saying you want to do more of? These are the motherfuckers that go, wow, I can't believe rappers are dumb enough to do crimes and then fucking rap about it. Okay? Meanwhile, this is not even like artistic integrity, okay? You just straight up are admitting to wanting to do more of the same crimes you just did. Just admit, okay? At least some of the shit or most of the shit is a bop, okay? It's good. It sounds cool and fun. You are just literally on Reddit being like, I am currently about to go to trial for doing something that I want to do more of and actually in more violent ways. That's in, like, at least do it in rap form, motherfucker, okay? So maybe we can make a First Amendment, artistic integrity defense there. Nope. That's crazy. Alex Jones meta is finally in. My friend, Alex Jones meta has always been in. It is the same exact energy as taking a selfie when you are doing a fucking crime. Why? Because they think law enforcement is historically supposed to protect them from the bad guys, the scary guys, black people, brown people, undocumented immigrants. Okay? That's the reason why they openly mention shit like this. The Alex Jones meta is just being an entitled conservative. Okay? That's it. And it's awesome. I love that. I love how confident they are. They're like, yeah, we're going to do it. This is like the entrapment of children. I can't believe you would do this. Yeah, I mean, it is a bit ableist. Like, I'll admit, like arresting conservatives, arresting hogs for being, for doing hog shit is a bit ableist. Like, you're not letting them play in the pig pen. Like, they're pigs. They're going to fucking get dirty. They're going to oink. They're going to squeal. That's kind of their thing. That's their culture. It's their attitude. And it's also their mental limitations. Like, you're kind of, at a certain point, you're kind of taking advantage of that. But it is pretty funny. Pull up the video of the person saying they're being treated like a black person when a big... Yeah, I mean, that is a doctor who unfortunately was also named Jeffrey Epstein, a doctor in Florida. I remember covering that a while ago. Here, this is the perfect, Here you go, dude. Here, we'll play this again.
He's a law enforcement officer, and he's trying to provoke me. Talking about me foaming at the mouth. Is that going to de-escalate things, genius? Do you have training, genius? There's no alcohol. You want to test me? Come arrest me. Give me a fight. They're arresting me. They're arresting me. They're really de-escalating. Hey, just don't be cussed, right? Stop hurting me. I'm not. Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me. You understand? Do not be rough with me.
By the way, this is for a lot of the people who are otherwise racist and don't understand why people say like stop resisting. If you don't resist, you don't get killed or whatever. If you've never been handcuffed, I will tell you the way that you are handcuffed is a way that your body is not supposed to contort. So there's no way to not resist, for the record. Like, your shoulders are not supposed to go that way, okay? Which is precisely why cops could technically say you're resisting arrest, which is what's going on here. He put his fucking hands behind him, and yet he's still being hurt because he clearly has never been arrested before, okay? He's never been handcuffed before, but that shit hurts. That's how it works.
Look at them. Look at them. They're going to beat me up. Don't beat me up, you motherfucker. Don't beat me up. Look at them. Oh, my God. I can't believe they're doing this. Oh, my God. Hey. Look what they're doing. Oh, get to the other side. I'm not listening. You're being rough with me. You treat me like a black person. You're going to get sprayed. You're going to get
He goes, you're going to get sprayed. Look, he took the fucking bear spray out, dude. Bear mace. You're going to get sprayed. So, yeah, he says, you're treating me like a fucking black person. Now, so that is perhaps one of the better, representations of like, just like someone basically admitting it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not supposed to happen. Like, this is not supposed to happen to me. I'm a white guy. I'm rich. It's not supposed to happen to me. It's supposed to happen to black people. Like, you're treating me like a black person. Calm down. Okay? So, I love that video for that reason, because like it just kind of shows it kind of shows like the attitude in general that people usually have. Okay? And it's the exact same attitude that leads people to have this entitled attitude, to go into the fucking halls of Congress, storm it, beat the shit out of cops, and literally take selfies. You know what I mean? That guy's name in the video was Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, I know. Those posts on extremist forums last night talking about a civil war and angling for violence, they're not all from random people. Or at least one of the most popular posts from someone who stormed the Capitol on 1/6 awaiting trial. So there it is. And they think that, like, even when they're under legal scrutiny from the federal government, even when they are currently awaiting trial for literally doing something that is very adjacent to, like, asking for a civil war, agitating for a civil war, they still do it because they think, perhaps correctly, it's not going to happen to me. That's not what the criminal justice system is for. Well, sometimes it is, okay? Sometimes it can be. Seems like for a brief moment it is. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the aftermath of all this when everything unfolds. But part of the reason why I was a little worried even yesterday while talking about this, even though we are celebrating, Schadenfreude, even though we are celebrating conservatives fucking going crazy on the timeline over this, was because if it's for nothing, if it's literally if it's for like a minor mishandling of evidence or whatever the fuck, mishandling of like classified documents, I'm not going to sit here and give you the Rachel Maddow take about how important this is because I don't know exactly what kind of evidence this is. Okay? Do you understand? Do you get it? Because remember, Maggie Haberman wrote an article yesterday on the New York Times before this raid happened about Donald Trump throwing notes that he had written in the toilet. And that's technically unacceptable and not allowed, right? You're not supposed to do that. Everything that the president writes needs to be preserved in Library of Congress. Like, it needs to be documented and it needs to be preserved. That's just how it works. There's also a method of like disposing of that information, especially if it's like private shit or classified information. And dumping it in the toilet is not allowed. And there's rules around that. But ultimately, it's not enough, in my opinion, to use that as a way to like just fucking arrest them. It makes me feel good when it happens, but I do fear that if it's not for something that big, if it's for just, mishandling evidence, I fear that this will blow up in the FBI's face, and they have done this before. They did it with the Jim Comey shit.
Probable cause that a crime or crimes were committed. Republican leaders are lashing out at the FBI and the Justice Department. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House, for example, putting out a statement saying, quote, "The Department of Justice has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization." George?
John, you called it at the start the most politically explosive FBI search probably in American history, but it's not the first time they've looked at Mar-a-Lago.
In fact, George, ABC News has learned that a much smaller contingent of law enforcement agents visited Mar-a-Lago this spring. Trump was actually there at the time. They met with his lawyers, and they did retrieve some documents. Apparently, however, they were not satisfied with what they received at that last visit.
Okay,
George.
John Carl, thanks very much. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. First, you got to kind of take a breath. FBI raid on the home of a former president. Let's walk everyone through the process so they understand what would have to happen for that FBI search to take place.
Right. First thing is they have to go to a judge, right? They have to be able to prove that there's probable cause that a crime was committed and that there could be evidence at this specific home. They have to be specific in the warrant. Judge has to then sign off on that. But even before that happened.
Well, that's what I wanted to do.
Kids are mad on Twitter and saying that this is fascism. Motherfucker, fascism isn't when it happens to your side, okay? Like, people don't understand what fucking fascism is. If this is fascism, then fascism has been happening to marginalized people from the jump, which I would agree with, okay? I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy that they're like, oh, the FBI dropping the lenient attitude that they normally have over this to go after a previous president is fascism. Like, that's crazy. You understand that they do this all the fucking time. This is what the law enforcement agencies do, and they do it against people who are powerless 99.9% of the fucking time, and they use it And they even write new laws specifically so they can do this even harder. The sentencing disparity between crack cocaine and regular cocaine is a perfect example of this. Okay? If this is fascism, then yeah, what happened to fucking Fred Hampton is actual fascism. Okay? That's real fascism. No-knock warrants and all that sort of stuff is perfectly normal in the process of law enforcement conduct. Okay? It's completely unacceptable. That shit is actually completely fucked up. This, on the other hand, is not. Yeah. Chatters, don't misunderstand it. This ain't fascism. It's communism. Right. It's coming for you, baby. It's haunting.
Even before that happened, you have got to believe that the highest levels of the Justice Department signed off.
The White House
this.
says they didn't know about it, but clearly Christopher Wray, the FBI director, would have known.
No doubt Christopher Wray knew about it.
I guess the open question would be, did Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, know about it, or his deputy, Lisa Monaco?
I've got to believe that Merrick Garland knew about this. You have to. I mean, when you're talking about going to the former President of the United States home, the implications are so significant that you have to believe that Merrick Garland knew about it, and specifically that they wouldn't tell the President of the United States about it. I mean, it's for the same reason that Merrick Garland needs to know about it, is the reason that I think they want to make sure that the President doesn't know about it and isn't involved.
We believe they took documents away from Mar-a-Lago. There are questions about mishandling of classified information. That, of course, is a crime.
Yep.
It could prevent the president from running again, although that law is at issue. But there has to be something more, right?
I completely agree with you that
Everyone is of the same mindset here. Okay? Everyone is of the same mindset here. Like, if this is just mishandling documents, then that's such a fucking nothing burger that you did like a huge thing for, okay? It's a total nothing burger that the FBI went balls to the wall, big dick mode on for no fucking reason. So I really do hope that there's more. Give us something, dude. Come on.
to send this kind of FBI team to the former president's home, there has to be something more than just a Presidential Records Act violation. They have to know something that we don't know about yet. And I think that's why it's really important to pause here. We haven't seen the warrant. We don't know exactly what the possible crime is. And I'm not convinced that it's simply just a Records Act violation.
Well, then let's flip that around. If it is indeed just a Records Act violation?
I would think that that's overreach. I think if it's just literally that the president has documents that he was legally obligated to turn over and there's nothing more, I would think that would be a mistake on the part of the Justice Department. But we have seen great care by this Justice Department not to go too far, which is further why I don't believe that it's just
that would be different from destroying documents or lying about whether you had the documents.
Correct. But again, proving that you destroyed the documents is a different issue than simply going there and trying to retrieve documents that the government believes belongs to it.
What a case.
Unbelievable. I mean, stunning. And that so few people knew about it, that it was coming as well.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone.
Why is the media pretending they know what confidentiality is, what an NDA is? Lamau? They don't know what a Oh, are they going to go after Hillary next? I fucking hope, dude. That'd be so sick. That's the funniest thing. When conservatives come in here and they're like, well, why hasn't Hillary been arrested? I'm like, I agree. Take that up with the big guy, okay? Yeah, that would be sick. I am a fan of that, okay? This framing, it's true. FBI raids home of Epstein-linked Clinton donor. That is true, dude. I love that. Yeah, at least Hillary was smart enough to delete the evidence. Like I said earlier yesterday when this shit was popping off, it took Trump 4 years and he couldn't fucking catch Hillary. Okay? Meanwhile, Dark Brandon took him out in 2. So, remember that. I know that we said the Dark Brandon meme was dead, but now it's kind of alive. And Dark Brandon has actually done some good shit recently. And like I'm very critical of Dark Brandon. I'm very critical of Let's Go Brandon, right? But a couple things have happened this past week. There's some obviously shitty things that they did with the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, that I'm not too fond of. Wow, Hasan became a centrist. Okay. Oh, dude, I am so both sides. Arrest everybody. If you think that makes me a centrist, then go off, okay? Yeah, totally. I am a centrist. I'm literally a centrist. Real back the blue vibes in here. Oh, dude, we're backing them. We're backing the blue so hard. I mean, guys, you already know I suck cops to completion, okay? The only time I take a knee is to suck off a hero cop, okay? And now I'm taking a knee to suck off our heroes in the FBI, okay? Who are like cops, but also with federal jurisdiction. So remember that. I'm a centrist. I love our law enforcement. Back the boys in the blue, okay? I love sucking them off. ACAB means all cops are babes. ACAB means all cops are beautiful. ACAB means all cops are brave, okay? That's right. And ACAB means, you're right, all cops are busting. If they're in my presence, they're busting, dude. Nuts. Going to be real funny 2 years from now on when you sheepishly tell your viewers to vote for Kamala, though, Lamau. I mean, I've told my viewers to also fucking vote for Joe Brandon as well. You think I like them? No. I love that this is like, oh, you fall in line rhetoric. It's going to be real funny when you fall in line. I don't give a fuck. Don't vote for Kamala Harris. Don't vote for Joe Brandon. Who gives a shit? If you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Just like I said last time around as well. It doesn't fucking matter at this point, okay? Don't do it then. Don't fucking vote for him. I will always be critical, and I will always tell you, okay, that voting for these motherfuckers is not the end-all be-all. It's not. It's the least significant, most significant thing you can do, okay? Not. There's nothing you can do. Very great viewing, participating in the spectacle, says Lacan Draper. Judging by your Lacan Draper username, I'm going to suspect that you're one of those guys who's edgy. He's not like the other leftists, you know what I mean? And by that, I mean he's transphobic and enjoys the works of, people who reverted to Catholicism at their adult-ass age and became like, they were like, out of all the religions, I'm going to go with the one that is the pedophile one, that is like most famous for the pedophilia. Thank you for being the edgy leftist in the chat. No, just jealous that you found a way to monetize left point views. Aw, brother, it's all good. Well, maybe stop being a fucking annoying douchebag in my chat and get on the grind set, baby, okay? Guy's a hyper cringe lord? Of course, dude. They always are. It always comes around to, first of all, leftist. Did you just call me a leftist? Because I'm not a leftist. I'm a centrist, as I told you already. I'm back in the blue. I'm in support of jailing both the Democratic politicians and also the Republican politicians. I'm a centrist. I'm a capitalist. I'm a centrist. How dare you call me a leftist? How dare you? That was a surprising amount of honesty from that type of chatter. Yeah. I never understand leftists ever shitting on someone for doing a job. It's because they don't have a job, brother. Okay. Let's continue. Before we get into the DC court thing. Where was I? Okay.
For more on all of this, let's go to Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett. He joins us now. Major, good morning. I think it's important to point out that the only reason we are talking about this today, that we know about it at all, is because Donald Trump himself issued a statement on it. Yep. With that as context, how significant is this FBI search of the former president's home?
It doesn't get any more significant than this. Not only is former President Trump someone who looms large in America's...
Hold on, I really got to read this. Rationalist_Annie gave me $3 TTS dono and said, please read my dono, okay? So I looked, of course, because I'm a fucking idiot, because I needed to see what the fuck he was talking about. And my God, yo, bro, I wish you nothing but the best, and I love how you dismantled some of Andrew Tate's views. However, as a Turk, I am disappointed you are not convinced of the existence of God. I would like you to debate/speak with Mohammed Hijab on this topic rationally. No, thank you. I'm good on that, man. I'm so good on that. I'm good. Just, believe Allah all you want in your own time. You can believe it in here too, okay? But I'm not going to fucking debate someone on the existence of God, bro. You fucking weirdos. No, no shot.
This political conversation, he is actively talking about seeking the presidency again. So this would be something the Justice Department would have to review at the highest levels, as was said in Catherine's piece, and a grand jury and a judge would have to say there is probable cause to execute a search warrant because that search warrant is in pursuit of a possible crime having been committed. All of that is true. But what we don't have is very much transparency from the Justice Department or the FBI. We have one statement from the former president using very florid language. My home is under siege, raided, occupied. Essentially, a search warrant was executed because the judicial authorities, with all the relevant facts, believe there's probable cause that a crime was committed. But in the larger political context, this is a dangerous and unstable moment in American history. This is now a conversation about weaponizing the justice system at the federal level. And Trump supporters hear that, and they may react in a very combustible way.
Well, that's where I was going to go with this follow-up question here, Major. Christopher Wray, the FBI director, who presumably had to sign off on a raid of this significance, is a Trump appointee after the former president famously fired the last FBI director. And also, the FBI is supposed to be a nonpartisan agency of law enforcement. It's doing its work on 10-year terms at the director level. So talk a bit more about the implications of the former president using those explosive words to describe this important arm of the government.
Well, it's not only the president's words. So many other Republicans, almost instantaneously, as if former President Trump was a ringmaster directing them rhetorically into this battle, describe this as a prime example of judicial corruption. They describe the Biden administration as a regime. They basically said that the FBI should be defunded. Some Republicans did, rushing to...
I love that. That is awesome. Which, by the way, yes, I agree. I mean, how wonderful, dude. How wonderful that, we're all coming together and uniting under the common banner of defunding the FBI. Why not stop there? Let's fucking defund the DHS, okay? I'm totally on board. That's a great idea. Maybe even some of the local law enforcement, it's fucking awesome. I am 100% in favor of this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you are a girl boss. I love you. Thank you so much for your brave takes on this. Yeah, no, they just straight up went from oh, this was a wonderful tweet. Yeah, when you're attacking FBI agents because you're under criminal investigation, you're losing. I love that. I love that. Extend it to all the fucking federal law enforcement agencies. It's great. Full blown.
the defense of former President Trump, assuming that this has to be a nefarious and illegitimate and corrupt exercise of law enforcement prerogatives, when it may be quite the opposite. We don't know what the underlying facts are. We haven't seen the affidavit. We haven't seen the search warrant. And as I understand it, because of this sensitivity, there would be a conversation between former President Trump's lawyers on the scene about what was taken and why, and a receipt given to the former president describing what federal authorities took and under what legal authorities. The president, the former president, is in possession of that and could help explain to the public what happened. He could release that if he wanted to. So could the Justice Department. So could the FBI. What we lack here is real insight into the underlying justification for this search warrant, what it sought, and what the applicable laws that possibly were violated were. Until we know more about that, this feels deeply politicized, and the president is reveling in the atmosphere of victimhood, as he has many times before.
You know, Major, I hear the critics of the president saying, listen, there better be a real there, or this could further divide the country. His supporters say, look, once again, it's a witch hunt against the president.
The witch hunt!
You know, even using the word unprecedented, depending on your point of view. Unprecedented because this has never happened before, witch hunt.
Like, so many presidents suck ass, right? I mean, when you're the fucking president, you do a whole bunch of awful things. Part of the job, almost. And the fact that this is like the first time a previous president gets popped for something is because like he mishandled evidence, or I mean, he mishandled classified documents. Like, that sucks. Those classified documents better be like huge. You know what I mean? The secret to 9/11 or something. You know what I mean? Those classified documents they need to declassify them and then tell us exactly what's in those documents. And they better be fucking sexy. Okay. I'm talking like, documents that are classified show that like Osama bin Laden is still alive. You know what I mean? Because, fun fact, but the Osama bin Laden documents were actually hidden and deleted. So you can't actually get it with a FOIA request. Or when FOIA requests were sent on Osama bin Laden, the raid, photos taken from the raid, the pre-planning of the raid, you can't actually get those documents. So I would like to see maybe that's the Osama bin Laden raid docs. You know what I mean? It's actually quite surprising how they're not celebrating as much as yesterday, ever since they found out it was just classified docs he took. If nothing comes from this, that'll be very fucking surprising. I mean, I mentioned this already. I mentioned this yesterday, right? I told you that, like, my fear is that this is just bullshit. Like, it's just like it's just unimportant. Overall, it's not like super significant shit, and they're doing this major action for something that is otherwise like insignificant. But also, it makes the conservatives mad, so I'm gonna fucking sit here and enjoy it, okay?
For President Trump. Unprecedented if you're against the president because you think, well, surely they have something. How do you square those two? So, we hear this said all the time, Gail. The rule of law in our country matters, and no one is above the law. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, has said that repeatedly. He said it very emphatically to our colleague Jeff Begays, who asked him that question, specifically referencing former President Trump about possible prosecution. So the country has this moment where it has to evaluate underlying evidence and what the evidence is and what the possible crimes are. And without that, you have a very political atmosphere, one in which the former president currently has the upper hand.
All right.
Michael, I want to ask you the first question because, you know, for an outsider, you've spent a considerable amount of time as a biographer of Trump with him and with family members. What do you think is going through his mind?
Tate lost the Hustlers University kids. He's down to 64,000 from over 100K. No shot. Since the debate, Hustlers University has lost 40,000 members. No fucking shot. I don't believe that. That's too good to be true. And I'm not he probably fucking deleted the bots or something, or Discord went after his bots or some shit. No fucking shot, dude. I want to take credit for that, but I don't. That's
in their minds.
Oh, I think they're delighted. This is a surprising answer, but I think that they've been planning for this.
Dog, that's because some are smart enough to, after the first month of not making money, to stop. Yeah, I think so too, but I don't even think that he ever had 100K real active users anyway. I think there was a lot of bots going on as well. Anyway, we'll think about that in a little bit.
For years, Donald Trump first did his reaction to the FBI, actually having his lawyer call them Gestapo and stormtroopers 50 years ago. So he's been prepared for this strategy all along. He issued a campaign-style commercial within hours. This was prepared in advance. So he's an expert at spinning everything into publicity. He believes all publicity is good publicity. And that hardcore Trump group, 35% of the electorate, is going to be electrified by this. I think he's having a good day, actually.
Alyssa, you see this as serious on many levels.
I do. If we're talking about it being vital national security documents, I don't think that we can forget that those, even if it's top secret.
Why is 100K so unrealistic when he popped off as hard as he did? Because the product that he's selling is bullshit, shrouded in secrecy, and the price point is too high. $50 a month is insanely high for a scam of that magnitude. That's part of the reason.
Secret. That means it could pose a grave national security risk if it's in the wrong hands or made out into the public. This, I'm hoping, goes beyond simply not complying with some archiving laws, or DOJ just handed Donald Trump the Republican nominee and potentially the presidency. If it's seen as some sort of massive overreach and not something incredibly serious, this is a very good day for Donald Trump. And by the way, he knows how to play this up in his favor. He
immediately started fucking fundraising off of it, just like the Democrats do. The entirety of the Republican media ecosystem was up in arms, basically fucking advocating for the same point, using the same talking points immediately. We watched it happen. Everybody said, Banana Republic. This happens in Venezuela. This happens in Zimbabwe. This doesn't happen in America. This is why you need to vote. You need to vote. You need to vote. We're going to punish these Democrats because they're coming after our daddy. Okay? And that's why you need to vote. That's why you need to vote. Vote harder. And part of the problem there is that, like, there's a mixture of messaging there because, like, Republicans have usually done a very good job of motivating some of the most active parts of their base to go out and vote for, I don't know, harming black people, advocating for racial agitation or putting racial agitation in the forefront to get people to go out and vote so they can do law and order on black people or, stop women from getting abortions. You know what I mean? Like, they're very good at that sort of thing usually, but that's a dedicated campaign that takes many, many years, decades of advocacy to to firmly plant it as your main plank. The idea that they're simultaneously saying that elections are rigged, they're stolen, elections are rigged, they're stolen, and then turn around and say, but you should vote harder in these stolen elections is kind of it's conflicting. They say elections are stolen, they're rigged, which can actually depress voter turnout. And then also on top of that, they say, oh, just vote so that we can maybe down the line punish the FBI for attacking our big, beautiful boy, Donald Trump. Well, I don't think that is personally as good of a campaign slogan. It seems almost like a Democrat making that messaging. Because they've been riling up the fucking hogs. They've been riling up the hogs for civil war for so long. And they're aching for it. You know what I mean? And the Republicans on the independent side especially are aching for it. So we'll see.
Less broke this news. It was
he
actually
did break it. I believe
a Florida-based reporter had something, but he was ready to go. And I've actually seen quite sort of aligned messaging among Republicans. This is, a banana republic. This shouldn't happen. If they do it to the president, the FBI will do it to you. I think he's having a good day as of now. So I hope DOJ's buttoned up on this.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. The messaging from Republicans, they're seeing maybe benefit going into the midterms on this.
Unless the they is Ron DeSantis.
Well,
or anybody else who was planning on running for the Republican nomination in 2024. Look, this just happened. So the ramifications are still mostly unknown.
Here's a conspiracy theory. Trump had the FBI director raid his house to find nothing significant in order to rally the Republican base. No, dude, that's not a good conspiracy theory. That's a bad conspiracy theory. It makes no sense. The more likely conspiracy is not even a conspiracy theory, is that the FBI did this like Jim Comey did against Hillary Clinton, okay? And then found fucking nothing in the second letter that came out, if you remember, with the newly unearthed like Huma Abedin tapes or whatever. They did this because they thought like this would be good. This would make the agency look good. Oh, we're so apolitical, you know, we hit everybody. No one is away. No one can touch the FBI. So they did something like this, which is kind of silly. And it's for, it's overall, it's not like they wanted to flex and show force for an otherwise like insignificant crime. And now Donald Trump is using it by crying about it and saying like this raid is going to devastate me, knowing full well that like ultimately it's not gonna pan out. However, having said all this, there could be some serious information that they uncover here. Okay, there could be some serious information uncovered here. Like I'm holding out hope that at the very least there's some like, you know, there's a good reason for why they did this, because it is unprecedented, because it is a big fucking deal. Okay?
But in the short term, what it looks like is exactly what Alyssa said. I mean, I cannot tell you how many Republicans I have talked to who have said that just the political way that he handled this is vintage Trump. And for his short-term political goal, which is, if it is, in fact, to get the Republican nomination, kind of genius, because he has used all, I mean, look at the buzzwords he used in that statement: Occupy, raid. I mean, he basically said it was the deep state, which totally triggers and animates the people who not only who like him, but there was concern, according to people around Trump, that he was losing some mojo. He was having some trouble raising money, and this, he believes, turns it around.
Surprised? I mean, he has foreshadowed this every step of the way from Mueller. I mean, every investigation into him is a political hoax. We all knew that if DOJ did anything, that this was going to be the response. But I do agree with Alyssa that it will look bad if this is if this is dotting the I's, crossing the T's type of thing on a classified document concealing type of crime. But I suspect it's not. And I suspect it's not because, first of all, they got 15.
Trump just dropped the warrant. You're right. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? I was setting up a juicy one. Fuck you! It is top of the fucking hour. Fuck you, dude. That was so fucked up. At the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. That is, oh, God. Does it feel good that you took away my one joy? Huh? Does it feel good? Do you feel like you accomplished something? Is that how you feel? You're like, oh, yeah, I did this. I took away his joy. I hope you feel good. At the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. Thank you, Nikki Eviore, for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. This motherfucker 2 days ago, dude. He's been trying this for 2 days, and he finally got me. Black Kakarot, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. I'm fucked up. Fuck me up, dude. Fuck me up. Okay, let's continue.
15 boxes from there. They did discuss it in June. You have to
15 boxes in January.
in January,
earlier.
and then they
Earlier.
talked about what was, they had some discussions in June. I would guess, this is pure, speculation, but from my experience as a federal prosecutor, I would suspect that DOJ has very good information from a witness that there is more there, and that's why they did the search warrant. Remember, this is...
Yeah, it has to be, dude. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter, for the 25 to the subs. It has to be. Like, the fact that they are doing something so unprecedented, like, I hope it's not fucking copium. I just want it. I want it for two different reasons. One, because it extends the saga. Okay. It extends the saga and more content. The Dirtfoot, thank you for the 5 get the subs. I also think that it's great because it like triggers the hogs. But also I just want to know, like, what is the information? You know what I mean? I want to know. I'm morbidly fascinated. Can you imagine? It's just like menus and shit. Like he was like, yeah, the one time I stole the menus when I ordered McDonald's for all the big, beautiful sports players. When they all came to the White House, and he's just stole the menus. And that technically is, my man has like a bunch of McDonald's wrappers and fucking menus and shit. Like, we should just let him back on Twitter too, by the way. Like, imagine how much better shit would be if he had the capacity to fucking rile up the hogs from Twitter while this was going on. Oh my God, so much content.
This is a guy who's flushing documents down the toilet. You're not going to go ask him to turn something over. So you have to do a search warrant. And I don't think they're doing a search warrant just simply to sort of button up their investigation. I think they would only do this if they had real evidence of
Nomad David, thank you for the 521 gift subs.
And to be clear, what I just described is the political argument and what is going through his mind about his political future, which he sees is very much tied to the legal strategy. But you're right that it's really hard to imagine, especially given what we have seen within the DOJ over the past, several years, that they did not do this without it being buttoned up and beyond just the National Archives of the documents that he took, unless it's really relevant to a larger thing.
And I do think the specificity of the raid, knowing to look in the safe, going into his personal office in Mar-a-Lago, indicates that somebody may be cooperating who knows who's close to the Trump circle and would know where they should be looking. And we do know that a handful of folks have gone in recent weeks, but I think this indicates someone senior is cooperating.
It's possible that the family knew all about this. I've seen these signals with Ivanka Trump actually saying, I've taken the red pill, which is a call out to the paranoid online meme-based Trump.
Dude, boomers on CNN describing like, oh, it's the red pill. It's paranoia. What? I knew your shirt was familiar. Okay, bro. How about you yabba dabba do yourself, okay? Yeah, Flintstones, baby. That's right.
Extremists. And Donald Trump Jr. has this essentially...
Call me Fred the way I'm fucking yabba dabba doing your mom, okay?
Iron Cross, Crusader Cross, on the stock of his gun and displays it prominently. This is really an end of the signaling to the most rabid base that we agree with your paranoia.
I want to make one thing clear as we've been having this discussion here is that we are getting really just one side of this, and it's from Trump world.
Yep.
It is from Trump.
I literally made this exact same joke last time someone made fun of me for wearing this shirt and said that I look like Fred Flintstone, I think, right? Wasn't that straight up the exact same joke I made last time someone made fun of me for wearing this fucking shirt? I don't know.
Trump world. Yes, there was this political journal in Florida that sort of had a hint of this, but it was Donald Trump who made the statement and Donald Trump who tried to control the narrative early on last night. We haven't heard from DOJ.
Well, we haven't heard from DOJ. We have heard from a lot of Republicans who don't know anything about what they're talking about. They are spouting off, following Donald Trump, attacking the DOJ without any idea what the basis for this search warrant is. And it just goes to show you how much control Donald Trump still has over Kevin McCarthy
Janet
and the Republican
Luce, thank you for the
Party.
5. Get the subs.
And the fact that Kevin McCarthy would issue that statement in such an antagonistic and inflammatory way against Merrick Garland, I wonder if Hunter Biden is charged. Are we going to see him with that same kind of, preserve your records? Of course not. It is completely politicized. He has consistently undermined the rule of law. And we need to see what Merrick Garland actually
Well, let me ask, Daniel, because Merrick Garland, he must have known that this type of thing would be coming. Lisa Monaco must have known, the deputy AG must have known this type of thing was coming. Christopher Wray must have known this type of response was coming. So given that they would likely anticipate this response, how much does that raise the stakes for their decision? What bar do you think that they must have felt was met?
I think they had to feel like it was worth it for their investigation.
If you're going to wear that shirt, you have to be prepared to be burned. Don't be ashamed to be in fashion blind. Yeah, bro, I like to fucking make, I like to swing sometimes, all right?
They absolutely knew they were going to get this blowback. But I think Merrick Garland he's been ridiculed by the left for going so slowly. And every time he gets ridiculed, he says, we will follow the facts and the law wherever it leads. And I think he's going to do that. And some people both sides are not going to like it. He's going to get attacked. And I think he probably has just said, you know what, this is my job. I'll get attacked, but I'm going to do it.
And can I just add to that? It's not as if they woke up one day and said, okay, today's the day. We're just going to issue this search warrant and we're going to send the FBI in to get what we want. This has been sort of the climax of months and months and months of actual talks between federal investigators and Donald Trump's lawyers. Our reporting is that the former president himself even went into a meeting that they were having at Mar-a-Lago about this. So he's been dragging it out. And the question is why? The question is why? Why has he not let his lawyers say, okay, here are the documents you've been asking for?
Well, and I do think that DOJ is going to have to say something. And while they don't comment on active investigations, just leaving this out there lets this sort of moment that you referred to in the country just percolate and become more dangerous. And you see more of kind of extremist rhetoric on different sides. Even Donald Trump's own potential 2024 candidates are immediately coming to his defense, not even knowing the facts of it. This is a banana republic. This is a witch hunt. The FBI is completely politicized. I'm not sure how long you could let that just hang out there without DOJ in some way giving the public a little more information on what's going on and what led to this.
But they're going to be handcuffed in this whole process because everything that's said by the government will be discounted by Trump. Everybody's going to follow his lead. This is going to become one of those terrible incidents where, as you said, it's going to get dragged out for a long time. It is dangerous. These folks are often inspired to plan violence or conduct violence. So I think Trump is, again, playing with fire, but he's always proven that he's willing to do that. And he's going to drag this out.
Well,
he's an expert at dragging it out.
Because DOJ and the FBI will not be able to say anything substantive. They will speak through their papers. I do think we will see, probably sooner rather than later, the affidavit underlying the search warrant, which will lay out all the evidence.
But he also has the lying advantage. The government's not going to lie, but Donald Trump will lie profusely.
Right, we saw this in the Mueller investigation.
Right.
How does this affect his calculus on an announcement, Alyssa?
I think it just sped it up. I was already anticipating that by September he would announce, but I think that, he's going to want to try this theory that you can't indict a president, but he's also going to push it a little bit further and say, and I'm a candidate for the presidency. He's going to argue he's the front runner for the presidency and that legal theory should spill over. So I think he's moving up his announcement. I think to him, this is a good day. He's got, the momentum he needs, the base has rallied around him, and I'd expect an announcement soon.
One small factor that is probably not so small in his mind, though, that as somebody who has worked in politics before, the minute he announces, he loses a big money train. And that is the money that is coming from a joint agreement with the RNC that helps him pay his legal bills. And his legal bills are not small.